If you have more of a narrow frame, you should definitely focus more on your arms and your traps. So if your traps are higher insert, especially if you start to develop them, you learn how to roll your shoulder blades up so that you can flex your traps a little bit harder. It's going to give you a lot more angular physique. Now, if you notice, he's definitely not looking super wide like this. And that's because that's not what we're going for. What you're focused on with a more kind of narrow physique, you're focused more on creating roundness in the arms. And if you don't have a lot of roundness in your arms, you shouldn't go for a very detailed physique. You're going to rely a little bit more on width or just getting very lean if you can't have either. But he has really good inserts. He has good striations in the shoulders, and he also has a good chunk of muscle, not just in the front delts, but also in the side delt. Then you look at the bicep, have a clear amount of separation going on between the front delts and the actual bicep themselves. A lot of people like myself store a lot more fat kind of on that insert of that deltoid, so you're really not going to see this until you get very lean. You look at the tricep and rear delt separation. You can even see a little bit there as well. The biceps clearly have a good amount of mass, and even with a straighter arm, they're still bowing out just a little bit, which is a great indication of mass. You can also see his brachialis right here. This is something that only people are going to get whenever they've actually built up enough mass and then gotten lean, because if you have a lot of body fat percentage, you're just not going to see that muscle. It's too small. And then if we look at the forearms have a decent amount of mass, not quite as much as the upper arm, but we can definitely see that vascularity going on throughout his arm. So with a narrow physique, focus on your traps, get your arms as big as possible. And if you have a narrow frame and your arms just don't seem to grow, then I would say, well, hopefully you got some chest or hopefully you got some abs. But if you want this kind of physique, you might even consider doing shrugs.